Today on the AWC podcast, we're talking about the things to consider right now from the latest issue of the American Window Cleaner magazine. Thanks for spending some time with me today. As you know, the AWC podcast highlights a different article straight from the American Window Cleaner magazine. And if you aren't getting your monthly magazine mailed to your door, just go to awcmag.com/subscribe to get yours now. Every issue has loads of articles, reviews, pictures, and of course, the world famous window cleaning sticker sheet, because who doesn't love stickers? So go to awcmag.com/subscribe, get your magazine subscription. Also, there is a swag page, so if you're interested in custom shirts or anything else, support the industry, check it out. It's awcmag.com. Well, today we're talking about the things to consider now, and this article actually comes from Jim Dubois. A lot of you know Jim. He is a super popular guy. His route company has been the things of legends. He owns a company in North Carolina, and he is the creator of the window washing wealth. So definitely check that out. And if you want to read the entire article, make sure to check it out in the magazine. But he goes on to kind of talk about the headlines, about what's going on now, about everything that has gone on in 2020. Now, I know that a lot of us want to just be done with 2020. We don't want to talk about it, think about it. We don't want to do any of that. But there's some really, really, really valuable lessons in what we've all gone through. There's some really valuable lessons. And part of it is that we need to consider a certain number of things when times get tough, and for when times get tough. Even if this pandemic and everything else ended tomorrow, just done, which would be amazing, right? There's a lot of things that we can get, a lot of lessons. And by the way, I want to be frank that saying that most people who have basically gone through this are having an amazing year. If you're listening to this, if you're subscribed to AWC Mag, any of that stuff, it's because you're learning. You're always bettering yourself, and I guarantee your business is doing great. You're succeeding. You are not failing. You're not listening to a window cleaning, podcast because your business is closed down. So you've done things right, but just like everything, we could have done things a little differently, maybe a little bit smarter, right? And this comes from the January issue of the American Window Cleaner magazine, issue number 213. But basically, he's talking about when things are bad, and he's gone through it in 2008, there's a few things to kind of focus on, in his opinion. And the first one is increasing your marketing efforts, which this one is huge because people always think, well, no one's buying. I remember when this all started coming out, people were panicking in the industry, as they could, it's understandable. But a lot of people said, hey, should I cut my prices in half? Should I do more discounts? Should I do a crazy President's Day sale? Well, instead of discounting everything, the marketing side needed to change. A lot of us knew that we wanted to market, and they knew that we had to market, but they wanted to go about it a certain way. A lot of people wanted to go and discount everything because they thought that the price is what people weren't buying from. In marketing, you have to understand that people buy because of a reason, and they don't buy because of a reason. If you're trying to sell me a cheeseburger at 6 a.m. and I just had my coffee and breakfast, I'm full and on my way to work, you could sell me the cheeseburger for 10 cents and I wouldn't buy it. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry at that time. If I'm a vegetarian and you're selling me a giant ribeye, the best cut of meat that's ever been made, dry aged with marbling of the gods, and you're selling it to me for $1, I'm not going to buy it, right? The marketing is the why they buy from you. Discounting it in the price is only if somebody's buying from you because of price. If somebody's not buying because of price, they're not buying from you because you're too expensive, that's something then for you to understand and change, your price. But don't just change your price because of that. He says there's a few things, the 5 things that he increases marketing efforts. He said that they're being super aggressive with their 5 and 10 rounds. We call them 5-ups. So if you don't know what these are, it is when you do a house, you take a flyer or you take a door hanger or you take a business card. I like door hangers. I make door hangers specifically for this particular thing. It just basically says, hey, we washed your neighbor's windows. Sorry if things are too bright where you are. Kind of a little bit of a joke. But you go and drop off a door hanger, 1 to the left of the house, 1 to the right of the house, and then the 3 across the street. So you make a box. You can do that also 10 rounds instead of 5, whatever you want. He said, first off, increase that. You're increasing the literature that's being put out there so people know that you're still in the area. It always creates relevant, makes your company relevant when you have to understand that McDonald's, everybody above 2 years old can say and knows what a McDonald's is, but yet they still advertise in every magazine, book, radio, newspaper, everything. They're in everything. And it's to stay relevant. So increase and be super aggressive with those. Always be doing your 5-ups. The second one, he says that they're staying in front of mind by calling every customer that they served 6 months ago and a year ago and trying to get them on the calendar. When you do this is the call list. I do pre-spring, pre-fall, send out calls, call everybody, say, hey, we didn't have you on the schedule, but we're putting together our spring schedule. Can we get you on? Now, but a lot of other things that you've probably heard is to get people on the schedule before you leave the job the previous time. But there's still people who will always be a little behind the 8 ball on that. So make sure to call them. The third one is the email blasts. They're going out even more frequently. Again, if you got a marketing calendar, put that in there. 2 in the last 2 weeks, generating thousands of sales. Thousands of dollars in sales. It's pretty interesting. That's one of those things where you need to figure out your headlines, your offers, something to get people to look and pull the trigger. Do your research on that. 4, he said that we doubled up on our technician incentive programs, which I love this one. Remember, the people who do the work for you need to be appreciated. Yes, money's good, right? There's a certain point you make the money and it's not really about the money anymore. What it is about is your appreciation. Appreciate your employees. Get those incentive programs up. Incentives are huge. It could be something as stupid as, getting those steaks we talked about. And number 5, he said our marketing dial is ready to turn up even higher as good news drives the market positive. And that's the big thing too, is you always have your finger on the pulse, seeing where the market's going, seeing what's in the news, what you can do to change and better yourself. Super, super valuable. He also says that getting your financial ducks in a row is ridiculously important. And here's something that is actually something to think about with a lot of people. You plan, well, I'm going to have a great spring. I'm going to have a killer fall, and that's where I'm going to save my money. I'll save it when it gets to that. I got to live a little tight now. But things could happen. Imagine the companies who are running everything, dollar, expense, and everything through like they always have, and then all of a sudden a pandemic hits, and it is the spring rush. Just doesn't happen. Now, we did get a second spring rush, a lot of us, so it did come after that. But there's a lot of people who March is their month, and they weren't getting any income. You have to plan for that. A few of the things that he says in that, it says that and we have a business line of credit just in case. Contingency plan. I love it. He said they allocate X number of dollars every week to an emergency savings account. Boom. Financial contingency. Now, keep this in mind. If you are putting a couple $100 away every week, depending on where you are in business, maybe more, maybe less, you're going to have a lot of money. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't disappear if it's sitting in an account designated for issues. If you don't use them for issues and you cap it at, say, $5,000, $10,000, eventually you'll get to that dollar amount, and then every quarter you pull money out. Or you don't put money back in, right? Contingency plan. He said that every deposit they make, a small percentage goes into another account that just can't be touched. Those are 3 really, really good things to watch your money grow and your security grow. Again, right now, things may be really good for you. So why not plan for when times aren't? The joke is we're squirrels. We get it when we can for the times we can't. So be squirrels. Another thing in the financial side is he says examine your expenses. This is a big one. You have to see what you're spending your money on because there's 2 ways to make more money. It's to earn more or to save more. And save more falls under spending. If you're spending less or smarter, you're going to make more money. Focus on existing customers. That is one of the big ones in all of this. Focus on existing customers. When all is said and done, your financial stuff's in a row, your marketing efforts are out there, you've already spent the money to get the people, your existing customers are going to be just as important as getting new ones. And they're going to be a heck of a lot cheaper to get them to come back. So how do you do that? How do you keep your repeat customers? Consider doing loyalty programs or reward programs or multi-discounts or referrals. There's a lot of different things that you can kind of do to keep them happy, keep them relevant. Remember, we talked about emails already, making sure to send those to existing people. Stay relevant, but appreciate your existing customers. A new customer during a rough time may not be easy, but having somebody who's already used your service and loves you is going to be a lot easier. But the last thing in there says that you need to see the big picture. See the big picture. Think of this. He goes on to say about his wife being at Sam's Club, and she was just amazed at how many people were loading up on toilet paper. And she almost just went and bought toilet paper because everybody else was. And as you know, now hindsight, we ran out of toilet paper for a pandemic that had nothing to do with toilets or things that can happen on that side. So very, very odd times we live in. But with that being said is, instead of seeing the now, everybody's getting toilet paper, I need to get toilet paper, see the future, the big picture. Well, okay, that's a temporary issue. No one actually needs this stuff right now. I'll get what I need. I'll just get what I need. Seeing the big picture in all of this, especially when things aren't going well or aren't going as smoothly as they should, allows you to see that not only is there going to be some kind of end game, but it also allows you to see where the important things lie. Go back to your marketing efforts. Go back to your financials. Go back to your existing customers. Go back to what's important to get to where you want to go. There is a huge difference between the now and the later. If you were in March, when you're standing around, twiddling your thumbs going, oh my gosh, the world is ending. Everything is shut down. I have no work and no money. And you just looked at the now, you would have jumped, off a bridge. But the thing is if you can see the big picture and go, wow, this season I'm in is really rough, but I've done all these things to prepare for a rough time. It's time to allocate those funds. It's time to, get all of this relaunch marketing and everything else. It's time for me to plan for when this thing all stops and comes back on. And remember, there's going to be a day that we're not wearing masks, that people are normal. You can go to a bar or a restaurant. You can do whatever you need to do or want to do with other human beings, and this will all be in the past. So see the big picture. This was an article from the January issue of the American Window Cleaner magazine called Things to Consider Right Now. I just touched on a little bit of it. Jim is a great guy. He does some amazing work. Make sure to check out windowwashingwealth.com. You can get a free marketing report and business building manual, all that from that site. He's a super good contributor and a really nice guy. Really, really nice guy. I actually moved into his town, so I see him at restaurants every now and then. Super great guy. But definitely check that out. And if you haven't gotten your magazine yet, what are you waiting for? Be one of the popular kids who have it. Now, don't do it because of that. Do it because you are going to learn some amazing things. Immerse yourself in the industry. You're going to help support the industry, and you're going to get some really awesome stickers. So go to awcmag.com/subscribe and get yours now.